Well, welcome to our first Wednesday night service post the 30-day journey. Yes, Lord. We're going to dive into some good stuff tonight. As we prepare to do so, if you've got a physical copy or a digital copy of your apostolic conversion guide, go ahead and pull that out because we're going to be using that and implementing that in the process of our service tonight. Um, and as you're pulling out either your digital, opening your digital on your tablets, your phones, your laptops, or whatever you may have, or your physical printed copies that you may have printed out, I'm going to jump to the introduction for just a moment so that we're framing this, not only for those of us in the house, but since we are decreeing and declaring our growth and those that God is drawing to this message, we kind of got to set that framework because we never know what's the new soul that's looking in on what we're laying out or rolling out in a given service. So, in our introduction of this here, the mandate for apostolic conversion. Apostolic conversion is not a minor adjustment of private faith. It is the comprehensive reallocation of one's allegiance, citizenship, and function into the governing body of the kingdom of God. It is a summons to renounce the self centric Kirk model and ascend into heaven's strategic leadership on earth. God is restoring his original governance plan through the ecclesia, his authorized legislative body and judicial assembly on the planet. So we've come to understand through our journey that this is more than just some type of shift in private understanding. It's not just some private interpretation of the scriptures. It's not just another doctrine or set of dogmas or set of theologies or beliefs of yet another sect of Christianity and of the nation of Jesus Christ, but it truly is a constitutive return to God's foundational and eternal intents for his ecclesia, for his people. Again, where the lie began, the confusion surrounding the true nature of the ecclesia stems from a critical linguistic and doctrinal deviation introduced through mistranslation and cultural reinterpretation. The original Greek word used by Jesus and his apostles was ecclesia. So when Jesus said in the scriptures, upon this rock I will build my church, what's translated in the English is church, in the Greek it is ecclesia. So upon this rock I will build my ecclesia or ecclesia, meaning a called out governing body, a political assembly authorized to legislate, deliberate, and enforce decisions for a sovereign power. It signified a dynamic governmental force, not a passive worship audience. However, during the early centuries of church history, particularly as Christianity was absorbed into Roman imperial structures, the Greek term ecclesia was gradually replaced by the Germanic rooted term kuriakon, which meant belonging to the Lord or the Lord's house. Kuriakon emphasized the building itself, brick and mortar, and the priestly activities rather than the people's governing authority, constitution, identity, purpose. When English translations like the King James Version were produced, ecclesia was rendered in the English as church, which is derived from a whole other term, which is kirk, rooted in Koreakan, forever altering the consciousness of Christian identity. So we know that we are and we have been in a journey exposing essentially this particular strategy. This shift refocused Christianity from global dominion and social governance to personal devotion and religious ritualism, allowing the Kirk mindset to replace the governmental mandate of the ecclesia. Now, as we're taking this journey, we're identifying, specifying, dismantling, and converting what those mentality shifts are for each category and what we're shifting to. So tonight, we're going to actually get in groups and begin to work through this. We're going to work from our 12 core activities. And tonight, we'll focus in on number one, which is changed activities. That's the one that we're going to be focusing in on. So every group will be working on number one. In the conversion guide, and this is particularly page 4 that I'm focused on, this is where it gives the summary. You no longer crave or relish what destroys, decays, or degrades your existence. Your behavior and decisions pivot toward righteousness. Now, there are reflection questions here. What activities still tempt me to belong to the old life? Where have I already noticed major behavioral shifts? So, away from Kirk into ecclesia. And then, what is one activity that I'm fully renouncing and replacing? And I won't even don't have to only just say this week, right? It could be as you're in this transition or this month, etc. So that's what we're going to work around in our groups. We're going to do a count off, I think is what I'd like to do, just so we can mix it up a little bit. I think 3 groups is pretty solid for the numbers that we've got. So we'll count off 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Deacon Priest, I'm actually going to start back there with you. So 1, Abigail, you'll be 2, and then we'll come to the second row, P.I.T. Sade, and then uh Joyce, Darlene. Ladies, are you going to join us in the groups tonight? Oh, well, but in the group, you'll work through the lostness. What we can do, we'll stick you guys together as number 2, and the both of you can just hang out in the same group with number 2. Okay, okay. All right, Courtney. Yes, ma'am. Miss Alice will be 2. Miss Minister Tracy. Mhm. And then I'll keep Mother with you in 3. Okay, and then Deacon, Elder rather, 1. Uh-huh. All right. Now let's get into our area. So why don't we just go ahead and have 1 come over here in this section where Deke already is. We'll have 2 here in this section, and we'll have 3 here where Jennifer and Miss Elaine are already clustered.